Harry Wilbur Eertmoed was born on April 17, 1920 in Pekin, Illinois. His parents were Fred Allen Eertmoed from Germany and Emma von Beckman from Alabama. He had 12 siblings named Ernest, Fred, Henry, May, Edward, Carl, Louis, Charles, Irma, Richard, Doris, and Robert. He attended Pekin High School until he temporarily dropped out in 1939 to go with his friends on a bike trip out west.
My father was Harry Eertmoed, born in Pekin. In 1939, he and a friend decided to make a bicycle trip out west. They got as far as Burlington, Iowa from Pekin, and the rain set in, and they were stuck in Burlington for several days, decided to ship their bikes back home, and then hitchhike the rest of the way. Well, it turned out traveling salesman picked them up, and they spent the summer touring out west, Yellowstone Park, on out west, and eventually met up with some relatives in California before they decided to head back home. All of this before World War II, and that was his big adventure as a young man.
When Harry later got back home, he would finish high school and would graduate. Harry served in the military in both World War II and Korea. In World War II, he was a civil engineer and would go ahead of the troops and build bridges to allow the troops to easily get over uneven terrain.
After his service in World War II, he joined the Marine Reserves and went back to Korea for several months at the beginning of that campaign, and he had his feet frozen in the Chosin Reservoir and suffered with that for the rest of his life.
In 1946, he would marry Lois Scogan. In 1947, their son, Thomas Eertmoed, my grandfather, would be born. In 1948, their daughter, Chris Eertmoed, would be born. The first few jobs Harry had after the military were painting and wallpapering and being a postman.
Dad served as a firefighter in Pekin for 22 years, all parts of the department.
One of the biggest fires he would help put out was in 1954 when the corn products building in Pekin caught fire, killing several workers. Harry would also help put out a big fire that would burn down the Pekin bowling alley / roller rink.
Even before Dad retired from full-time work, he took on the role of Santa, and once he retired, he grew out his beard and became a more or less full-time Santa Claus. Grew the beard out, and he was served at the Pekin Mall and then later at Northwoods Mall in Peoria, as well as doing any number of family parties and celebrations.
Ron Eertmoed, my father, remembers how the whole big family would have Christmas on Christmas Eve at Harry and Lois's house, and everyone would have to wait to open their presents until Harry got home from playing Santa at other parties for him to give out all the presents. He would go on to play Santa until his passing on September 4th, 1992. Harry Eertmoed goes on to be remembered for his military service to our country, his service as a firefighter, and as being Santa for thousands of children over the years in the local area. His memory also still goes on with his grandson, my father, Ron Eertmoed, becoming a firefighter, and his son, Tom Eertmoed, continuing the tradition last year by being Santa for their church's Christmas Eve Mass.